Joining us next on the MARR Army Rock Show, we're excited to have Maddox from the band Messer joining us today. They are about ready to release their self-titled album on April 20th. Maddox, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
So I was excited to hear your band and learn about your music, and it looks like the band has been building its base for a little while now. But did I read an entry that your entry into the band had something to do with a meeting in a hair salon?
Yeah, well, I've been playing in bands throughout the years that I had given it up. I mean, amidst the demise of the record industry, I mean, a lot changed for anybody just trying to put a band together, anybody who had a dream or an idea of being in a band. The game has changed, obviously. And I was just saying, you know what? F it. I'm just going to focus on my hair career because I was, working in a higher end salon. I was doing a lot of stage work, and Derek had actually seen me because he was dating a hairdresser, and he'd seen me at a hair show where I was on stage demoing a haircut, a new style or whatever it was, and then later on ended up, wanting to get his hair cut by me and met me in the salon, and we just started talking. Ended up, I just quit my band. He's like, well, we'll check this out, and it kind of went from there.
So the album is set to release in just a few weeks, but your single "Make This Life" is already making its mark. I have to assume you guys are pretty pleased with the early success, huh?
Yes, we are. I mean, we worked our butts off. So what you're seeing and hearing is 6 years in the making, essentially. Like you said, we've been at this for a long time, but at a time where we knew that we had to take the time to do it right to make a difference or to make an impact, like we're starting to make now with Make This Life. So while it is, we are very happy and excited for it. It's all by design, and it's working. So
yeah, that's one of the
it's a good feeling.
That's actually one of the things I'm going to get to ask you about in a few minutes. But before I do the design of all that, but I do want to ask you, you released a nice music video for the Make This Life single. So tell me about that video and the making of that video.
Well, Red Lux Productions, my good buddy Matthew JC, directed that video, and originally we were actually going to lead with a different single, and we had a whole other video set aside, and then at the last minute we switched to Make This Life, and so we actually had to throw that video together in 7 days, start to finish. So I'd had this idea because I always thought Make This Life should be our single, and we were listening to a bunch of different people, though. Someone was like, let's go with this one first or that one. But when we decided to go with it, I told the guys, I've had this vision for this video months and months and months ago, and I pulled out this treatment that I had written, which was exactly that script, and I hadn't really shown it to anybody yet. And I emailed it out. Everybody's like, yeah, let's do this. But it sounded a real big budget. It sounded like real complex to me because I'm not a video guy. But I sent it over to my buddy Matthew JC, he also owns Operation Rock the Troops, which is a 501c charity where and I play in that band, touring with them when I'm not doing Messer. And so he's our good buddy, and he's like, man, I got you. And I handed him that script, and they literally, I mean, it's exactly like I envisioned it. I wouldn't change a single thing about it, and it was a lot of fun to make, especially smashing the video or the TVs, which I will tell you, I thought we'll find no one. These TVs we'll find them. Find those TVs. Those TVs were hard to find. They're gone. I was going around to TV shops, and hey, do you have old TVs that nobody ever picked up or whatever? I mean, to get the ones that were the glass tubes, and I'd never broken a TV like that before with a bat or anything, and I didn't know how loud of an explosion it was going to be. But when we started, we had one shot at that scene, so it was like we gotta get it, and we're smashing these TVs, and all of a sudden you hear pop, pop, and we're underneath this bridge, and it scared the shit out of us, but it was a lot of fun to make. There was another really cool kind of a serendipitous event that took place, which our whole lives seem to be filled with these moments of serendipity. That's how I feel like I know we're doing the right thing. But we were filming that opening scene where the homeless guy that was played by an actor friend of ours, and Derek, and we had kind of styled him to resemble the artwork of the single for Make This Life, with the boy and the image of we had a gas mask, and he was holding that wine bottle, which I didn't really and styling the actor, I didn't even think about having the wine bottle. It just slipped my mind. It was like an oversight. But it was rainy that day in Dallas, and we filmed that outside of Deep Ellum. Right, that was actually right behind the Legendary Trees venue, and we were having a rain delay, and I was standing there and trying to take shelter, and across the parking lot, it was 100 yards away, I caught the glimmer of a green glass wine bottle, and I instantly said to myself, what are the odds of this wine bottle being over there? And so I want to go get it, and we're going to use it as a prop for the homeless guy. And I run across in the rain, I grab this bottle, and I pick the bottle up, and I noticed this is not just a wine bottle. It had a special hand-drawn label on it with a cork in it. It said "message in a bottle."
Oh,
and
wow.
It had a message inside of it. And so I was like, well, we're taking this. And I go over there and we film the whole scene. And I don't ever open it up yet until after we're done filming. And then I open it up and it had the craziest message inside of there that was. You have to look at my Instagram, but as I posted on our Instagram, but basically it was telling us something about the universal mind flow and how laws of attraction had led me to that exact moment in time. And it used this word Shazam a whole lot throughout the writing of the letter. I wish I had it in front of me. I'd read it to you. But we had just been talking about the app Shazam that whole week before, because we were all like, I can't believe we've been Shazammed 1,500 times already or something. And so it was just a real serendipitous moment. So I kept that. It's going to become a piece of my collection for the rest of my life.
That's an amazing story, man. That's cool. Now, another song we're featuring our show tonight is the tune Simple Man. Now, tell me a little bit more about that tune.
Well, so that song was actually the very first song that we did with our producer, Chad Gendison, who co-wrote the album with us. He's also my best friend. I'm brother from another mother. But that was like our first, attempt at, getting this whole machine moving. And so we created that real anthemic kind of, I'm just a simple man, real proud rock song. And we were going to use that at the time, we'll show everybody this great song that we got. Maybe we'll get a record deal or, finish it. And of course, that's not how it works anymore. And so we just ended up sitting on that for quite some time. And then we also had done Whiskey early on. And then those were, always intended to be in part of this album. We just didn't know the album was going to take us this long to complete it. But, they fit right in, even though those were written, long ago, they still hold up today. And then, of course, the bonus track on the album is an acoustic version that we made after we did this whole album. We're like, we'd always toyed with the idea of doing an acoustic version of Simple Man, and so we just kind of reimagined it. Exact same, lyrics, same song, but a more humbled I'm just a simple man. And we felt that was a nice bookend to the album, which we hope that you listen to start to finish, because we really were adamant about making an album that would take you on a journey. That's technically it's a page right out of all of our lives. That literally, they tell the story of us essentially making this album, the issues we've had, with relationships and everything. It's hard. I can tell you, it's hard.
Now, it's funny you say about the acoustic. The very next question I had written down was about that acoustic release. Now, a lot of bands, will add that to do the early morning radio show, live stuff, Or did you do that as an ad, or do you guys play acoustically occasionally?
Well, so on this album now, of course, when we have two ballads, and I'm using the term acoustic loosely. I guess they're acoustic because they're not really electric guitars. We like to do a lot of production, and even live we have, really high quality production, because sonically we want you to be able to feel the music and hear the music the way that we intended it, so that you get the full effect, the goosebumps and the watery eyes and all of that. So there's a song called One More Time that is essentially an acoustic ballad, but it's not acoustic like you would think. There's still strings and, lots of production. But we strip all that stuff down and do the acoustic version, where it's just, literally just us sitting in a cajon and acoustic. And sometimes I'll actually play acoustic guitar as opposed to playing the bass, just whatever tends to translate better. So we don't really like to to just take our songs and just play them acoustically. We like to just reimagine them as completely different, songs. And that's what we did with Simple Man on the acoustic version. And it's got like xylophone and, a lot of hand percussion. It kind of took on a life of it. So we really didn't intend that, though, when we were recording that. But at some point, we're like, man, this is kind of Fleetwood Mac-y. It kind of took on a whole thing. And people have been loving it. I've gotten lots of messages from people who have already heard it, like, we like this one better than the original version. And we kind of anticipated that a little bit, because I like it better than the original version, because the original version, I had more ego, I think, when we were doing that one. We all had all this ego, and kind of, at that point, that's why I said it's a nice bookend, because we started this thing with all this, lot more ego, and the process of making this album has humbled all of us, and that's why the Simple Man at the end is a more humbled, simple man.
So, folks are going to have a lot of opportunity to see you guys live. Tell folks about the long tour you guys are about to embark upon.
Yes, yeah, we're about to head out with Red and Lacey Sturm and Righteous Vendetta on the Unstoppable Scream tour. It's going to kick off March 1st in Columbus, Ohio. We're actually wheels up on our tour bus tomorrow at noon to head, because we're from Dallas to Columbus, long drive, and then the first shows are like 5 shows back to back to back, and a lot of driving, and we're driving our own bus. We don't have a driver. I'm the driver, but Donnie helps out a little bit, and Derek picks up a shift here or there, but really we limit the driving to just a couple of us. But yes, that thing's going to take us all around the United States, I think, until we finish in April 15th in Atlanta, Georgia, and that's after going all the way up to Portland, Oregon, Washington, all the way down San Francisco, LA, playing in Vegas, not with the Red and Lacey Sturm, but we were going to have a headlining show in Vegas, I believe on the 28th of March. On the way to Arizona, we have a couple of days off, and where we have days off, we're picking up headlining shows where we can. So, yeah, it's going to be great. And then as soon as we wrap that tour, we're home for one day, and we're out on a headlining tour with Shallow Side that runs till, I think May 20th. And then we have stuff coming up after that. So this is what we've been planning for. This is what the real work is now beginning now, is what we've essentially been planning for. So, yeah, we're going to be on tour for at least a couple of years.
Well, lots of good stuff coming out of Messer, man, and all fantastic bands. Glad to see you out with the Shallow Side guys and Lacey Sturm and all fantastic bands. As I mentioned, the debut album is due out on April the 20th. We're going to feature a couple tunes tonight. And in fact, I noticed right now people can order that thing. This is a bargain. You can order right now, pre-order on iTunes for $5 right now. So go out there and check that out, folks. And
yeah, get it. You will not be disappointed. Thank you.
Hey, well, Maddox, man, from Dallas, Texas band Messer, I really appreciate you being here on the show today, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Anytime, man. Our door is always open.